Simplified are a set of guys who makes it looks easy. Your number one learning channel. Ooh. Ooh.
Hello, hello, hello. How are you doing?
Fine.
So, today, guys, I want us to functions on paper one. I invited a couple of people. It's gonna be like a full house, yeah, for
No
every
problem.
yeah.
No problem, sir.
Awesome. Let's just wait for the remaining to join.
Hold on. Hold on.
You guys, you don't go to church, ne? Lebo mahlalela.
No, we do. It's just today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ish, mina the church, ish, the church needs commitment. Hey, I'm thankful because um my mother prays for me. It's a Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, by the way. To you. You must don't forget to to share the love to the mothers. Ne? So
Hello.
okay, everyone is here more or less. Now we say we're gonna look at functions today. In most cases, we'll be just going through each function one at a time, one at a time. This time around, let's look for a scenario where we just have to apply our functions in a question the way it should be given. I believe we are familiar with the, the so-called um, domain as well as range of function, because such things, they play more important role. Before I share my question for today, a question like this should be fair to test our understanding of functions as an intro. So we are given two functions there. We are given f of x as well as g of x. Can you guys identify what type of functions do we have here? Anyone? F of x and g of x. What type of functions are those? Anyone wants to try?
Is it a parabola and a hyperbola?
Parabola. The parabola is f of x, ne?
Yes.
So g of x, if you were to think of g of x, in reality, it could have been probably something like g of x is equals to 1 over 2 x. Do you think that's a hyperbola? Because a hyperbola would have been g of x is 1 over x. So this one, it has some a. Do you see? It has some a to the exponent x. What type of a function is that? Given that being wrong is not an issue. Doesn't it look exponential?
It does.
It does. So it could be exponential function. But remember, our goal is to look and focus at the structure, because the structure gives us even more information that we need. So according to the structure, by the way, our parabola graph is in vertex form. If it's in vertex form, we are able to take out the turning point from the way it's given there. And g of x, we can see it passes through point next to point B there, and through point A. It touches both the y-intercept and the x-intercept, because somehow you can see where it's been transformed. By being transformed, it has moved a couple of units down. By moving a couple of units down, you can see where it even has some asymptote underneath g of x. You can see some asymptote that shows that it could have passed somewhere down there. So meaning originally it could have been here at first, because that's how before it transformed it could have been. But after it was transformed, it moved down to be there. That's the story which we are trying to understand based on the diagram. Now, if we go through the question, the graph cuts the x-axis at A. The graph of f cuts the x-axis at A and C, the y-axis at E, and has a turning point at point D. Before we even continue, what would be the value of the turning point?
3 and 25.
3 and 25. and it's positive 3 and 25. Mainly because when you take it out there, it's supposed to be positive, but also because on this Cartesian plane, these are the positive axis, which is positive 3 here, and then your 25 would be there. Very good. So it's just some of the things that we are being familiar with before we even attempt any question. Graph G cuts the x-axis at A and the y-axis at B, as stated, and then write down the equation of the asymptote of G. What would be the equation of the asymptote of G? Anyone who wants to give it a try, given that we are allowed to be wrong?
Y is equals to -4.
Y is equals to -4 because clearly you can see it has moved 4 units down. Y is equals to -4. Write down the coordinates of D. The coordinates of D are 3 and 25. Write down the range of F.
Mm. Um,
Okay. The range. The range is in terms of what?
Y value.
In terms of Y. What are we looking for in terms of Y that will give us the range? What is our goal when we have to find?
Isn't it all the possible values that the function can produce?
All the positive the value the function can produce under under f of x from that value. So the way it works from this Cartesian plane, if you go to that direction further, you would have positive infinity in terms of the y-axis. When you go down that direction further, you would have negative infinity in terms of the y-axis, right?
Mm.
Now, from what you see in the diagram, what are the possible existence for the values of y?
Negative infinity to 25.
Negative infinity to 25. Very good. So you start from the smallest number, you go to the maximum value. So since point D is 3 and 25, we know that this point here will represent our 25. And as you can see, this graph from 25 going up there, it doesn't exist anymore because it has turned and go back to where it came from. So it was existing coming from negative infinity. And then it existed. When it gets to 25, in terms of y value, it turned and goes back to negative infinity where it's coming from. So it doesn't proceed up to that direction. So we say y is an element of negative infinity to 25. But then 25, we put a solid bracket because we are including the 25 as part of the values. This would be the first notation of writing this. Another notation would be, some students would say, or y is less or equals to 25. You are still talking about the same concept because you are saying the existence of the graph is from 25 going less, because if we're going up, it would be going the direction. So basically what I'm saying is these two things, they mean exactly the same thing, just two same things that are written in different notations. So one student may present their range as the one at the top, another student may present it as the one at the bottom. The two things means exactly the same thing, right? Just like just like when we say y is an element of numbers, means the same thing as when we have negative infinity to positive infinity. Anyway, I just feel the need to add more and more of that. But as we go, um, calculate the length of EB. Let me give you 2 minutes to try this one, guys. I just want to switch off some sound that side. You can be the length of EB, the length, calculate the length of EB. I'm gonna, you can zoom in from your side if you can see some of the questions, but I just had to put it like that. Calculate the length of EB. We're gonna compare our answers right now. You can try it, ne? Are we good?
Yes.
All right. With you now. Right. I'm back. For anyone who's done, you let me know if we can compare our answers. Otherwise, we're gonna do it together. If Okay. Uh, if by now you are struggling, then I feel we could be wasting our time. Is there anyone who confidently feels like they got this? So,
Yeah.
okay. Now, how do we go about for E? What was your point? How did you get the points for E?
I got 0 and 16.
0 and 16. And what was the process? What was the process for getting 0 and 16?
Um, I used I made x equals to 0 for the parabola.
F. All right. So you found f of 0 because
Mm.
x is 0 there.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, that was minus 0 minus 3 squared plus 25. Therefore, this gave us minus negative 3 squared plus 25 because 0 minus 3 is just going to be negative 3. So this would be negative 9 because negative 3 squared will be positive 9, but the negative outside will affect the negative to be negative like that, plus 25, which means you had 25 minus 9, which is 16. Very good. And then how did you find point B? What was the point? What was those points?
0 and negative 3.
0 and negative 3. Negative 3, you say.
Yeah.
And how did you find that?
I found it the same way, but now with the exponential
The
thingy.
g of
Yeah.
x function. Because the g of x function is the one that is passing through point B. So g of 0 is going to be 2 into 1 over 2 of 0 plus 1 minus 4. 0 plus 1 is just going to be 0. So it's going to be 2 to the exponent half. So it's just going to be 2 to the exponent 1 over 2 minus 4. And that would be 2 times 1 is 2. And in the fraction, so it's just going to be 2 over 2 minus 4, which is 1 over, which is 1 minus 4, which is just minus 3. Very good. So now you have your distance like that, and you have 2 points. And since you have 2 points, you can call this your x1, you can call this your y1, you can call this your x2, you can call this your y2. Then you can find the distance using the distance formula. So we know that EB is equals to square root of, what is the formula?
So I didn't use the formula.
What did you do?
I just subtracted the negative 3 from the 16.
Oh, that's another way of doing it. So you said EB is equals to
The y
is equal,
value of E minus the y value of D.
yes, I was gonna say F0 minus G0. That's what you said.
Yes.
So it was 16 minus 3 like this, which was 19 units.
Mm.
But because mathematics is mathematics, let's see if you're gonna get the same answer if you had to use the distance formula. Anyone who knows how the distance formula works? So it's x2 minus x1 squared. over y2 plus y2 minus y1 squared. Therefore, this would have been x2 minus x1 squared. It was just going to be 0 because it's 0 minus 0. Plus y2, which plus y2, which would be whether it's 16 minus 3 or minus 3 minus 16 doesn't matter, but when you square it and put the square root, it's going to come out as 19 unit as well. So regardless of whichever approach. So I know that some student could have approached it like this, and another student could have approached it like this, but otherwise it has to be 19 units like that. Happy? We are good, ne? Anyone who feels like they were not on this path, they feel like they need extra explanation from this, feel free to speak out so we can fix it now before we proceed. Because if you don't understand each step, or if you don't understand each question, the more we go deeper and deeper, the more we lose you, and you're just gonna feel lost until. Determine the values of x for which f is decreasing. Interesting question. This is the type of questions that we probably would skip in a thingy, maybe feeling like the question is not meant for you, or feeling like it's just now. Let me ask you, where is f decreasing? Uh, well, what was I saying? Where is the function decreasing? Where do you see f decreasing in terms of observing it with your own eyes? In terms of x.
So can I guess?
You can guess.
3.
X will be equals to 3. Look, I get that. Why let's support the statement y is 3. I wanna what is the motivation of your guess?
I just looked at the turning point.
Yeah. But now, in terms of the turning point, in terms of the turning point. 3 is just like this equation here, this line here, right?
Mm.
Is that point where the function f is decreasing? When a function increases, what do we look at? We're looking at the actual slope. So look at it like this. The function itself, it was increasing here because it was going up. Do you see that? The function was increasing there because it was going up. And then got on top of the mountain, on top of the thingy, and then it started to decrease. That's the function. The function is the slope. The slope, you can see the slope decreasing, going down. It's going, the way it's decreasing is approaching the negative side of the thing. That's the function going. So as the function goes like that, it started to decrease exactly at 3. So you don't say x is equals to 3. You say the function is decreasing at x is greater and equals to 3, because all the values, it's going to keep on decreasing until. So when we answer the question that says determine the value of x for which f is decreasing from 3 going further to that direction. So all the values. So we say the answer is x is greater and equals to 3, not x is equals to 3. But thanks, that was a nice guess, ne?
Mm.
But otherwise, we don't have to be guessing it. It's something which we have to be understanding. So I repeat for the last time. For a question like that, when they say determine the values of x where f is decreasing, f determine the actual function. And when you look at f, you're looking at the actual graph, the actual curve, the actual drawing of the graph. So it is increasing from this direction. It increases, it increases, it increases, it increases. It got to its highest point. Its highest point was 25. And then from 25, it started to decrease. And then it decreases to go to negative infinity. But when we look at f, we measure f in terms of the y values, because it is the actual function. So it starts to decrease here, it decreases here, it decreases here, it becomes 0, then it goes to negative value like that. But it decreases at the point where that value is equals to 3 for x. So if they said to you, what is the value of y? If they said to you, what is the value of y where x is decreasing, maybe you were gonna answer it in terms of the value of the 25. But since they want x, you answer it in value in terms of the x. Hence, x greater or equals to 3. Happy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, calculate the average gradient between point A and B. Average gradient between point A and B for 5 marks. Is this one going to be a challenge?
No.
Okay. We know what point A is, right? We know what point B is, right?
Yes.
To get point A. What would be the process of us getting point A? Kana? We have so many information to use, ne?
Yeah.
Because point A involves both G and F. So we can just solve for X by letting either G of X to be 0 or F of X to be 0. Which one do we go with? Should we use F of X?
Yeah, we can use any. Yeah.
0 is equals to minus X minus 3 all squared plus 25. Therefore, this would have been equals to 0 minus x squared minus 6x plus 9 plus 25 minus x plus 6x minus 9 plus 25 minus x squared plus 6x plus 16 is equals to 0. X squared minus 6x minus 16 is equals to 0. Then when we factorize that, we would have x and x, and then we would have 8 and 2, right? Negative and positive. Therefore, x will be minus 2, or x will be um, option 2 would be if you use the other word for g of x. Let's not shy away from it, because someone might want to use that. So it would be 0 is equals to 2 into 1 over 2 x plus 1 minus 4. This one is for when you are confident with your exponent, with your exponents, right? So if you're confident with your exponents, this then becomes 2, 1 over 2 to the exponent x plus 1 is equals to positive 4 if I take the 4 to the other side. Then I divide by 2 here, I divide by 2 here, this 2 cancels this 2. I'm left with 1 over 2 to the exponent x plus 1, it's equals to 2. Now check this out. This is the same as 2 to the exponent negative 1 with x plus 1 being equals to 2, because I want to make the bases to be the same in order to equate the exponents. So therefore, this will be 2 to the exponent negative x negative 1 is equals to 2. 2 is to the exponent 1. So now, if 2 is to the exponent 1, the bases are the same. Then you can say minus x minus 1 is equals to 1. If you take the 1 to the other side, you'll have that minus x is equals to 1 plus 1, which is 2. If you divide by negative both sides, you'll find that x is equals to minus 2, which is the same as that minus 2 that you find to state that A is minus 2 and 0, and then B is 0 and minus 3. Then from here, what do? You find your gradient. How do you find your gradient? You say m is equals to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus xy. Are we clear?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Guys, I will help to help. I have to help someone at the gate. Can you hang in there for like a few minutes just to finish these questions? But before we let me just scroll down so you can be seeing the next question, so you can be looking at it while I'm still doing the thing. The next one was graph T is obtained by reflecting G about the x-axis. Write down the range of T. You can imagine it. If P of x is equals to f of x plus 2, write down the coordinates of the turning point of P. You can quickly try that. I will be with you. No.
Mm-hmm.
Just 6.7 and 6.8. Can we imagine how the graph it's gonna look like for T? So if it rotates if T is obtained by reflecting G about the x-axis, it would be here. And then it was gonna turn here and go to that direction. The way G is accurate, not so accurate, but like that, right?
Mm.
So what would be its range? Its range would be y is an element of negative infinity up to -4. Do you see that? I hope it makes sense.
Yes.
Or you can say, or you can present it like this. Y is just less than -4. Mathematically, these two things is one and the same thing. Makes sense, right? Kumo, we're good.
Yes.
All right. So if you can create strength of attempting questions like this, guys. Well, if P of X plus 2, or if P of X is equals to F of X plus 2, write down the coordinates of the turning point of P. This is a free 2 mark. You just go and say P of X is equals to F of X plus 2. What is F of X? F of X is minus X minus 3 squared plus 25. F of X is gonna be minus X minus 3 squared plus 27, right? Let me just take a call. I don't know, man. Someone was just randomly calling, and I think it happened to be a missed call. It's fine. I'll call them back. Now, what is our turning point now from this?
327.
3 and 27. But because it is 2 marks, you could have just looked at it from your turning point was 3 and 25. If we add f of x plus 2, we know that we are increasing f of x 2 units up. And if we increase f of x 2 units up from 25, we're just going to add 2 units and make it 27. We have to put it like that. Just just felt the need to traditionally do the way mathematics should be done anyway. And then the last question, which determines, which separates girls from, you know, what's that? Small girls from like, but this one, if you get this one, it means I may. Now the confidence boosting, uh, the I'm not being like playing around with your gender, guys. I just can see from here. Most of the people they went out, so I can see what it's only left with ladies only. So that's like it separates girls from women. This one. Determine the value of k for which the straight line y is equals to 2x plus k will be a tangent to f. Then. What does that mean? Determine the value of k. So f of x, if this equation, if this straight line is a tangent to k, first of all, I'm going to write it here. The straight line is y is equals to 2x plus k. Guys, I always say it is important to differentiate a positive slope to a negative slope. With a positive slope, okay, if I draw two slopes here, I call this slope number 1, I call this slope number 2. Between 1 and 2, which one is positive, which one is negative?
I think the first one is positive.
The first one is positive and the second one is negative, right? So
Yes.
this helps us for questions like this. If we are given y is equals to 2x plus k, we can tell that somehow this line, we can imagine it to be somewhere, but it touches f because the tangent somewhere, it could be anywhere there. But we choose to put it there because we know it's a positive slope. If it was a negative slope, I could have decided for it, the way they explain it as a tangent, it was going to be the other side like this, you see. So I know it would be somewhere there, but knowing it would be somewhere there, since it is a tangent, it touches one point of f such that f of x is equals to minus x minus 3 squared plus 25. This then becomes f of x is minus x squared minus 6x minus 16. I mean minus 9. Sorry, I'm in a rush now. Minus 9 plus 25. When I simplify that, it's going to be minus x squared minus 6x plus, that's what f of x is. But at that point, because it is a tangent, it means minus, right? It means minus x squared minus 6x plus 16 is equals to 2k, 2x plus k. Because the two equations are at that point where the tangent is touching the equation, the two equations are equal. Do you understand up to where we are right now?
Yes.
Therefore, if we simplify this, we'll have that minus x squared minus, when I take this to the other side, it's going to make it oh no, when this negative multiply this one, it's going to make it a positive. So it should be a positive such that the negative 9 is the one going to come. Just that I worked it out from there, matter when the negative multiply is going to be negative x squared plus 6x and then plus 16. So this one has to be a positive such that it would be positive when this comes to the other side. It's going to be 6x minus 2x is going to give us 4x. Therefore, plus 16 minus k is equals to 0. Now you might be wondering, how do we find k? Are you wondering?
Can you solve it simultaneously?
But even if
Oh,
you solve
no.
it,
I was just guessing.
even if you solve it simultaneously, we have three variables, x, y, and k. So we say because the tangent touches the equation f at one point, it only touches it at one point. We say that this equation has equal real roots. And if it has equal real roots, it means we can solve delta is equals to 0. Nature of roots. Then just by going that route, you are done with the value of k. Because your A will be -1, your B will be 4, your C will be 16 minus k. And then according to nature of rules, delta x is b squared minus 4ac. This is equals to 0. B squared, 4 squared minus 4a minus 1, 16 minus k is equals to 0. Let's solve for k and compare our values. guys wish your mothers happy Mother's Day?
Yes, we did.
Yes.
When you wish the Mother's Day, you have to buy them something.
Yeah.
Eish, yeah, I haven't wished my mother happy Mother's Day yet.
Why?
Why?
I just like I just don't take it that much personal. So I just woke up and
That.
be busy. Just realize that it's late. But I sent her money to buy Savannah. My mom drinks Savannah. So when I buy her Savannah, it's my way of saying happy Mother's Day, ma. You know.
Mm.
But I will call her later after my lesson. But we don't have to formalize it, bruh. Every day she's in my heart, man. We don't necessarily have to formalize it on a specific day of the calendar because everyone is doing it. But hey, yeah, you are putting pressure to me when you say you guys you already did. So for K, I got before I share my value, anyone who's done yet?
20.
Yeah. Kanye also got the same one, eh?
Yes.
Okay. So, guys, let me ask you. Are you afraid of questions like this?
No.
If it was to come out now and they say, if you get this question correct, you are done with your mathematics. We are winning, ne?
Yes.
All that is needed is just more and more practice because they come in different forms sometimes. So, what we can do is next time, let's look at the functions of trigonometry in terms of the domain and the range as well. So we understand what just when we combine all the functions that we need to know, then we can move to the next thing. But otherwise, I will communicate how my day is going. I'm still busy trying to see what lesson can I do next. So don't worry, let's just be busy. But for now, we can call it a day or a break or whatever we call it. Thing is, there are students who are under pressure, like you, Kanya. Some students they feel like if I do more lessons, I'm stressing them. So some they just want a dosage of one lesson a day because just to keep the consistency. But for us who know, like we have to keep just every second we get, we must use. So I'll let you know what you're gonna do next, ne?
Okay.
All right. Otherwise, cheers for now with this function that we have. Because I just wanted us to go through this one, more especially the fact that it was an exponential function, and we never talked much about exponential function. Exponential functions, not all the time do they have x and y intercepts. It's only after they have transformed, and they are transformed by being shifted maybe downwards. If it was shifted up, it was not probably going to have the x intercepts. It would only have the y intercept. I'll explain this properly next time. Thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. For those who are scrolling on TikTok, for those who want to watch movies, for just want to chill, enjoy yourself. Until we talk again. Sharp. I'm not gonna close this meeting. You have to be the one who signs out. Hello. Hello, Kanya.
Simplified are a set of guys who makes it look easy. Your number one learning channel.